Welcome on this glorious and challenging day. If you know how anxiety works, it will be easier for you to dissolve it and have control over your life instead of anxiety controlling your life and your mood and day-to-day living. Doing what the world traditionally does is counterproductive and actually increases your anxiety. And what the world typically does, not because they're bad, not because they're not caring, not because they're not even understanding, because they don't know how it works. So they tell individuals, of family members, of loved ones, of friends, they tell them, stop worrying, stop with all that anxiety. You know it's not going to help you. You know it's not even true. You're just being so unrealistic. To me, it's equivalent to telling a child or an adult on the most beautiful day that they have a fever and they're so sick. I go and we tell them, I don't understand why you have a fever. I mean, just stop having a fever. Today is a beautiful day. Everyone else is healthy. Everyone else is fine. And we know everyone else is fine. Everything is fine. You should really come join us to the beach and have the barbecue and everything will be fine. So why do you have a fever now? Like, just stop having the fever. You know it's not good for you. You know you're being miserable. So stop it. Anxiety is the same. It is the same. So let's get down straight to it. How does anxiety work? So anxiety works as following. Imagine, ooh, cute birds out there. Don't distract me, I got ADD. So anxiety works as following. Imagine you're in front of your house and someone yells, "Fire, fire, 3 doors down, there's a fire." There's 2 reactions in your brain. One reaction comes what I would call today as the scientist, as the one that's tangible, the investigator. That part of the brain says, I heard someone say there's a fire, but only from the fact that someone said it, who says it's true. I will spend 3 seconds or less and just run over 3 houses down and see if there's any smoke. I see what's going on. And then, if there is, I'll call 911, or I will run with my garden hose and try my best till the fire department comes to take out the fire, and just run like a lunatic. Well, you're not really a lunatic if there's a fire. Then there's another part of our brain that I will call today, I was going to say the CNN. It's called the reaction valve. It's called the reaction response. It doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be authentic. And that part of the brain is actually a good part of the brain at times, if it's used properly. That part of the brain is trying to keep you safe. So that part of the brain hears that there's a fire. It decides, regardless if in this planet Earth it's real or not, it takes it as a yes. Who wins? There's always these 2 reactions in all of us. There's the inspector and there's the unrealistic reactor that might take fiction and turn it into reality within a split second because someone said. Not because it is, because someone said. I won't get into the science of now why it does it. We'll use it for another clip. The way our brain works, the emotional part of the brain, the reactor, overpowers. By default, it overpowers the inspector, the logical part of the brain. And therefore, because most people don't know how it works, whoever is louder is going to be listened to. Whoever is louder you give them their attention. So because the voice of the reactor is louder, you have people running to their hose. They're frantic. They're already having a panic attack, and the fire's already happening. And they run to their hose, and they run. They forget to put on their slippers and their shoes. They're running. They cut their feet on glass, and they're running to the house with the hose, and the water's running. And people look at them like they're off their rocker, and they go, "What the heck are you doing?" They went, "There's a fire! There's a fire!" And they go, "Fire where? I promise you, it's right here." And they go, "Show us." And they're like, "You don't understand me. You don't believe me. You're terrible. You're crazy." And they start crying, and they take the hose and start spraying them instead of the fire. But then when they come to the actual house, And they go, why am I pouring water on this beautiful home? And they go, oh, but this person said there was a fire. You will be from the very few that will know that when your brain reacts, it doesn't mean you have to listen to that voice. You actually can take control. I'll give you a simple analogy that just came to mind. Thank you, God. Love you. Love you. This is a good one. I like this one, God. You have a train and the wheel is very squeaky. Before you put all the attention to the squeaky wheel that's so loud, you might want to inspect all the other wheels, and you'll be shocked and surprised to see that one wheel from the train is actually about to fall off. It wasn't squeaking. A squeaky wheel doesn't mean you have to give it all the attention. Yes, attend to the squeaky wheel, attend to the other wheels, see which one really needs it. So from now, when someone comes and yells, fire, 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 and your default reactive brain will just go poof, and it's as if it's a done deal, there's a fire. It's so interesting. CNN was so brilliant enough to have the other day, a few weeks ago, a video clip of how the hospitals are over capacity, so on and so forth. The only problem is they took that clip from Italy versus America, told they were caught, and then they go, oh, whoopsie. That's the reactive brain. That's the brain that doesn't really do the investigation to determine what is facts and what is fiction. Well, I guess you got to make more money to scare the crowd. But the bottom line is, we as humans, let's leave CNN and Fox alone for now. We as humans need to investigate. So when someone yells fire, if you want to go take a hose and you want to have a panic attack, you want to call 911 or 311 or 511 or 711, dial any digits that makes you feel comfortable, or just take the phone and whack it on the floor and break it because it makes you feel even better. The house is right next to you. Take 3 seconds, because if there's a fire, the 3 seconds won't make a difference. Take 3 seconds to see. If there's no smoke, there is no smoke. And even if the fire just started, okay, so you might call 911, but we need to really examine if there's a fire, if someone's making a barbecue. Some people will see smoke and they'll run, and when the fire department comes, they go, what the heck did you call me? Oh, I thought there was a fire. Well, why don't you just look before? That was a barbecue in the guy's backyard. Hello? There are people, when it comes to corona or to various stuff, they hear certain things and they panic. Not only do they panic in the moment, they continue to search for misinformation or just listen to people that we can't even rely on, and their paranoia just keeps on growing. It is so important, so imperative to actually always do research before you begin to panic. There's a very rare situations, which we won't talk about now, that is exception to the rule that it's good to panic right away. The part of the brain to evaluate the inspector is there. Just find out. Find out, do your research. I have thousands of people always panicking about certain stuff, and I guess I'm different. I don't panic because everyone else panics. I don't do things because everyone else does things. The word everyone is the most dirtiest word in my dictionary. I actually took it out of my dictionary. If I have a doubt, I do research. I speak to professionals and I find out the facts. Once you find out the facts, the reacting part of our brain will be at bay, put them to sleep, and give them an ice cream. So whenever you have anxiety about any issue, speak to professionals about it. First, get your facts straight. Now, I could spend hours on talking about it. I know you still have lots of questions. And one of the questions might be, what happens if I did all the research and I know there's no reason, there's no apparent reason to be freaking out, yet I'm still freaking out. And that's what I do in my life coaching. I go through it. I created I created with God therapy called separation therapy, which is based on exposure therapy, just has a whole bunch of additional things to make it easier for your body not to resist, because exposure therapy could still be very, very difficult. There's another 3 clips of fear, which discusses how to work through fear. Ladies and gentlemen, we can manage and dictate anxiety versus anxiety dictating our life. For me to see people decades being controlled by anxiety, their lives are altered, the places they go, the people they speak is all controlled by anxiety, it just makes me cry. There's no reason for it. Not that I blame them, I love them and I understand them. But if your table is broken, you don't need to sit on a broken table your whole life. You don't need to hold the food in your hand. Not that I'm blaming you that the table is broken. A lot of tables break. But there's methods of how you could fix your table even for a very cheap price, and you could enjoy your meals, enjoy life. Thanks for listening, and have yourself a wonderful and delightful day. And may the world get out of its hell very, very quick. And may we only know of days of health, good life, prosperity, peace, love, tranquility, and all that you personally need. Thanks for listening. And the video does not want to shut. Cute. What are we going to do? Nothing. The inspector just says, try something